Om. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. We are now doing chapter 13 of Bhagavad Gita. We completed part 1. So let me just review part 1 and then we go from there. Part 1, he talked about 6 words, Chetran, Chetranyan, Prakriti, Purusha, and Jnanam and Game. So that is nature and Nirguna Brahman, field and the knower of the field, and knowledge and that which must be known. The entire universe is a field at the macrocosmic level, which has got 2 aspects. One that is visible to our senses, approachable, accessible to our senses. The other one is which is in the seed form, dormant form. That is thoughts, ideas, impressions, memories. Those cannot be seen. And then he also talks about 24 parts of the field here. He refers them as field. That is 5 elements, space, air, fire, water, earth, 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of actions, mind, memory, intellect, and ego, that is 19, plus those that are attracted to the senses, which are desires, likes and dislikes, pleasure and pain, and the will. It is referred to as Vishayendriya. These are the things attracting the senses. So Krishna calls all these 24 as field, nature, prakriti, insentient. Then from 7 to 11, he talked about 20 values that we are not going to study that. Verse 12 to 15, he talks about 3 different realities. One is transactional realities, Vyavaharika Satyam. Then Pratibhatika Satyam, which is an appearance, and absolute reality, which is the isness. Transactional reality is what is could become what was. And Pratibhatika Satyam, which is just appears. It appears to exist just like a dream. When you are in that plane, it appears to be real. But when you are out of it, when you wake up, there's no existence. There's no reality truth to it. Absolute reality is the isness, because if you use it as a transaction reality, God is, then God can become a was. That's not what it is. So absolute reality is isness. Anything that exists is isness because of that existence. So verse 13, one needs to not only needs to know the Nirguna Brahman, but also the appearance, the mithya, the universe, the veiling and projecting. All beings are projected on that one. Because of that, everything that appears to be, there is no other existence. Existence is that which exists in only name and form. Like ocean, water appears as waves, foam. Gold appears as bracelet or finger ring. They don't really exist. Only gold alone exists, but it appears to be different. Right? So those are called mithya, appearance, illusion. These are only for experiences without any existence, like a dream. Jnayam is that which must be known. Now in part 1, 16 to 18, he said, because of existence, generation, operation, dissolution happens. That is because of that Atma is in this body. Waking state, dream state, deep sleep state happens. Sarga Sthiti Laya happens. Wherever knowledge is grasped, say I see a pen, I see a car on the street. Whenever a knowledge is grasped, I know it is a car, it is a pen. Known, a knowledge is known, understood, realized is all due to me, my presence. Otherwise, I cannot see, the mind cannot interpret, because if I'm not there. I'm the light behind all five lights. The sun, during the daytime, it is the sun. At night, it is moon. And when it is dark, it is the lamp. But none of this can reveal me. Light cannot reveal darkness. That supreme light alone brightens, illumines all the light waves. That is called Vritti-jnana. Vritti is the light vibrations. The known, the unknown, the presence, the absence, I know, I don't know, everything is illumined by that presence. Those who get this knowledge, they are one with me. Now we are going to verse number 19. In transactional life, in many Indian languages, the word Purusha refers to the man. But in Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, Purusha refers to Nirguna Brahman, Kshetrajnan, Purusha, Neyam, Atma, the inner presence, all are one. Like we all have different names, right? Pet names. So scriptures call this body as a location, a city, a settlement. That is referred as Puri in Sanskrit, P-U-R-I. Purushan lives in Puri. In North India, there are places, cities are named after Puri. Jodhpur, Durgapur, Jabalpur, Manipur, Udaipur, Hastinapur. In South India, they are called as referred as Dharmapuri, Kanchipuram, Ramanathapuram, Mailapur, all these Puris. Purusha also means Sarvam, all pervasive. Sarvam Purayati, all pervasive. That is one who gives the isness, the essence, the Satta Purti, essence, existence to all. Anything that exists is because of that existence. Is nothing but existence. Purusha refers to Atman in an individual, that which is a substratum of all, the entire appearance. Purusha, Nyayam are one and the same. That Nyayam is that which needs to be known. Verse 20, he talks about Prakriti, nature is the material cause of the universe, like the clay to the pot. We have studied that in chapter 7, material cause and the intelligent cause, Upadana Karanam and Nimitta Karanam. In this verse, in this universe, everything has both Purusha and Prakriti, Atma and Anatma. Here, Prakriti is referred to as Maya, illusion, the power of Brahman. Just like I have the writing skill, but it is not visible to anyone until I start writing. It is expressed. So also the Maya is there, the power, until it expresses. Tears in our eyes, right? When dust comes, then the tears come to push it out. Otherwise, you don't see that. So similarly, sneezing. These are expressions of powers. All are expressions of powers, of the expression of power of Brahman. That is very elaborately mentioned in Maya Panchakam. Now, Purusha and Prakriti both have no beginning, and therefore they are referred as Anadi. Adi is beginning. No beginning, therefore no end. That comes to a conclusion. Are there two then, Purusha and Prakriti? How can an illusion not have an end? These two questions arise. The word Anadi means different for both Brahman and Prakriti. Brahman is the isness. Without modifying, without changing, can never be non-existent. So, Brahman is Anadi. It has no beginning, no end. Ever present. Whereas Maya is an illusion, was never present, cannot be objectified. Maya is an illusion. The snake appeared on the rope. When did it appear? You can't say that because it never existed. It only appeared. Therefore, it is Anadi. Even though both are diametrically opposite, both do not have a beginning. Neither a full pot nor an empty pot will make the bubbling sound. The movement of water and the sound it creates, right? So Brahman is full, complete, no beginning. Maya's illusion never existed. Therefore, it is also anadi, like a snake. Now, another explanation is time itself is a modification of Maya. There is no time per se. All the astrological, astronomical, biological, nuclear times is all created by human. There's now alone is time is just it's an act of Maya. It came from Maya. Past and future are in the mind. Nowhere we come from nowhere. We are now here. We don't know where nowhere. We don't know where we'll go. We go nowhere, right? No, K-N-O-W, nowhere you want to go. Prakriti, nature, that is Maya, is the power of Brahman. Therefore, anything that comes out of that Maya is also illusory, deceptive, imaginary. Anything that comes out of sugar, we make so many things. Everything is the main thing is the sweetness will be there. Same thing. In verse 19, he talks about Vikaram se guna sambhavaihi vitti prakriti sambhavan. That is, prakriti is there, which is nature, and it is elaborately, actually, this in Maya is chapter 14, completely elaborately explained what Maya is. Maya is power of Brahman. This Maya has three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. And because of this, one changed to three. One has three. These three, because of from there, they came five tanmatras. That is space, air, fire, water, earth. They are rudimentary elements. From those rudimentary elements came Sukshma Sharira, which is the subtle body with 17 parts. We have studied it in Atma Bodha, verse 12 to 14. Now these rudimentary elements go through Panchikarna plus the Karma Palan, gives the Stula Sharira, which is the gross body. What we see, interact with, experience is all natures, prakritis, illusion. This Maya is the cause of Stula body, Stula Sukshma Sharira. Nothing exists forever. Every appearance has a beginning and an end. This BMI, body, mind, and intellect, is therefore part of the prapancham, part of the universe. Maya is the power of Brahman, no beginning and end. Mithya is from Maya, is illusory. Prakriti, Maya, illusion is the cause of all gross, subtle, and universe. That is the Stula, Sukshma, Jada, Prapancha. That which came from Prakriti is subject to change, referred as Vikriti, modified. Clay is Prakriti, pot is Vikriti. Wood is Prakriti, table is Vikriti. Flour is Prakriti, bread is Vikriti. So therefore, Maya is the power of Brahman, Prakriti with three gunas is the cause. Universe is Vikriti, Maya is Prakriti. Cause and effect. So both Brahman and Prakriti, both are anadi, both have no beginning. But the prapancham, the universe that it comes out of Maya, that has got a beginning and an end. That is Nitya. So that Prakriti is limited by space, time, and object. Kala, Desa, Vastu. And it has no beginning, no end. Both gross and subtle bodies are from Prakriti, illusion. The universe, Prapancha, Vidya, appeared from Prakriti is Vikriti, with a beginning and an end. From Brahman's Maya Shakti. All bodies, physical and mental, are part of the universe. When we say universe, normally we isolate our body, mind, and everything else that I see is the universe. But this body is also subject to change, impermanent. So right? So illusory appearance, this body is also an illusory appearance. We include everyone's body. When I see you all, I see you are all part of the world. When you see me, I am part of the world. So everything is made up of 5 elements. All your bodies, my body, everything's part of made of 5 elements. They are all part of the universe. So with this understanding, all bodies, minds are not different from the universe. Maya is an appearance illusion. If all these are Prakriti, then what is the role of Brahman, Purusha? Prakriti is inert with 3 personalities, gunas, qualities, and we say that is his nature sometimes, right? That's how he behaves. That's his nature. That's his essence. The essence of nature of sugar is sweet. So also. And it is the Prakriti is the cause of all appearances, entire universe. The Prakriti has modified into universe all gross and subtle bodies, which is Vikriti. This Prakriti has no knowledge, inert, jada, innately inert. So the Vikriti is also inert, anything that came from Maya. But if this body, mind, everything is inert, but I experience, I gain knowledge. That knowing is in one's mind. That knowing is Purusha, consciousness, knowledge, Chit, Chaitanya. None of the things will know that I exist. Only humans know I exist. Consciousness is the cause of all experiences of the mind. Referred as Purusha, Kshetranyam, Nirguna Brahman, Nyeya. Purusha, Nirguna Brahman gives sentiency and existence to Prakriti. This Prakriti is dependent on, leaning on Purusha, Nirguna Brahman. For example, in this body, there are Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, Gunas, qualities. When I'm in prayer, I'm in Sattva Guna. When I'm in busy doing things, activities, I am in Rajoguna. When I'm at rest, sleep, I am in Tamoguna. And all these 3 happens only because of the presence of Atman. That is the inert mind, body is transferred into sentiency. That Brahman at the samashti, which is a macrocosmic level, is same as the Atman at the vyashti microcosmic level. It gives both existence and knowledge to Prakriti, the universe. Maya is in Brahman. That Maya, Prakriti, is non-existence, appears to exist, the power of Brahman. But Brahman is ever present. Therefore, both are anadi. Maya is the cause of all births. Sun is bright and its brightness shines everywhere, mountains, rivers, plains, people, animals, plants. But only a clean mirror can reflect that sun. Similarly, Brahman reflects in the mind, intellect, equipment. And you say, I know, attains knowledge of anything and everything. The mind experiences the universe. Without that Brahman, the mind has no power, no value, no experience. That is why a person in coma or a dead body cannot reflect. The equipment, body, mind, and intellect is not functional. The electricity is there, but the oven, the bulb is not working. They need a replacement. So is the reflection of Atman. The intellect shines, experiences the universe. As long as the mirror, this is an example, as long as the mirror is there, the reflection of the sun will be there. The mirror needs to be clean and clear to reflect that brightness. Sun is the one that brightens all. Similarly, the mind is a metaphor to the clean mirror. The sun represents the supreme presence, Nirguna Brahman. That Brahman's reflection illumines the intellect. And that reflection, that is, I'll show you the PowerPoint, that reflection, the reflected consciousness and the glowing mind, intellect together is called Jiva, individual ego. This individual, due to ignorance of not knowing the true self, the supreme consciousness, thinks I am this body mind. I am here. This is me. When this body is destroyed, I will be destroyed. But in reality, that individual jiva is not the reflected consciousness, but illumining consciousness. Let me share that screen. Let me share the screen. So this is the illumining consciousness. This is the reflected consciousness, right? This reflected consciousness illumines this object in the mind in the form of light waves. And that combination is called the jiva, mind intellect equipment, and the reflection. Because of that reflection, it glows. That is Ahankara Chaitanya. That is I. We think I. That is I. I am here. This is me. When this body is destroyed, I'll be destroyed. But in reality, that individual jiva is not the reflected consciousness, but the illumining consciousness, Atman. Not knowing the true self, the jiva develops an attachment. The body and experiences this world of glamour, thus caught in the cycle of birth and death. The most predominant question in scriptural studies is Nirguna Brahman, Supreme Presence, is a witness? If that Nirguna Brahman is a witness, a karta, a bhakta, the mind is inert, then who is the one who is experiencing? Who gets moksha? The response is the reflected consciousness, experiencing life. Not the illumining consciousness, the reflected consciousness that shines in all. That is the jiva, the reflected consciousness that illumines the mind, the light waves in the mind, there together is the jiva, experiences the pain and pleasure, and the three qualities of nature, sattva, rajas, tamas, due to association with it. How the reflected sun in the mirror illumines everything around. Say there is the mirror on my table and the sun's reflection is there. That sun's reflection illumines a pen, book, my phone. Now this reflected sun thinks that I and this mirror are one. Similarly, the reflected consciousness here associates with the body-mind equipment here, thinks that I am that, I am this, I am so and so. That is the cause, that attachment, that association is the cause. That Purusha, as reflected consciousness in the body, having associated with the body, becomes the cause of birth and death. Now, who is liberated? The same reflected consciousness, Ahankara Chaitanya. When this association is eradicated, destroyed utterly, the illumining consciousness shines forth. That association is the cause of samsara. Now, what kind of knowledge does it require? That is, what kind of knowledge that all jivas need? The knowledge that jiva has, that once we attain that knowledge, that jiva has no samsara. Verse 22, there's one word called Upadrishta. I am the witness of all. I am the seer of all activities. I am not associated with anything. We see a drama play, we are the audience. We are not involved in that, but we are witness. I am not the Chit Akasha, Chitakasha. Chit means mind. Akasha is space, mind space. I am not the reflected consciousness. I am not the Chitakasha, but I am Chitabhasa, illumining consciousness. I am the witness of the changes are happening in this body, mind, and the universe. Upa means I am very, very close to you. There's another word called Anumanta. I have no likes and dislikes. I do not prevent anything. I have no expectation. For a jiva, for an individual, there are likes and dislikes. If everything happens at the right time, divine time. And in chapter 11, he says, I am the Kala, I am the time. Once the reflected consciousness realizes that I am not dependent on this world, once the reflected consciousness understands that I am not dependent on this world, but the world is dependent on me. Similarly, I am the Purusha, the reflected consciousness is in this Puri. Because of my presence, this mind is experiencing. When the Jiva realizes who am I, will not be perturbed by external situations. Let me pause this for a minute and then we'll continue again. One who knows, understands that this Purusha Prakriti, supreme consciousness and nature is one, attains moksha in whichever ashramam life stage one is. There are 4 ashramam: brahmacharya, grahasthashram, vanaprastham, and sannyasa. Verse 24 to 24 and 25 talks about the path to moksha is divided into 5 steps. First one is purity of mind. That is, our mind should be objective without likes and dislikes, unbiased as an observer. Do not take sides. So somebody comes and says something to you that you love that person, so you completely surrender to that, whatever that person you believe it. But you don't know the other side of the story. So you want to listen to both, then be objective. Without knowing the truth, humans are caught in illusion. Many are in this rat race, not knowing their goal, purpose, meaningful purpose of this life. What is the purpose of human birth? How do I reach it without destroying this golden opportunity that I have received? These thoughts do not come because we are caught in this illusion of glamour. Therefore, first step is purity of the mind. Then discern the truth from the appearance. Know the purpose of human existence. Gain knowledge, the knowledge that all those that appear to me, that gives me pleasures, or in reality causes me a bondage. With that knowledge, develop a dispassion, not indifference. Develop a dispassion means do not have cravings for them. Stay grounded on that self-knowledge. Karma yoga is a preliminary requirement to purify the mind. Righteous living, dharmiga jivan. There's a difference between duty and responsibility. Duty must be done no matter what. Responsibility is you are responsible for things. You can either choose to do it or not do it. So Sanatana Dharma emphasizes on duty. We cannot renunciate anything. All our desires have to automatically wither. We cannot suppress. They have to sublimate. So next one, number 2 is single-pointed focus. First one is pure mind. Since the mind has been always habituated to the external environment, is always agitated, distracted, and unable to be calm. Due to consistent interaction with others, socializing, chit-chatting, a jiva is bombarded with worldly information. And therefore, it's a challenge to be calm and composed. We are drawn to phone calls, TV, YouTube, WhatsApp, do this, do that. We have studied relaxation, concentration, meditation in Chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga. Single-pointed focus is absolutely necessary. Even in day-to-day life activities, to be able to focus, concentrate, to read a book, to chant a sloka, or listen to music. Practice single-pointed focus 10 to 15 minutes daily. Otherwise, when we are sitting quietly, we are trying to read a book, the thought will come. Did I turn off the stove? Did I lock the door? Did I send out that email? All the to-do list will come. So knowledge, third one is knowledge. With just mere 1 and 2 are not enough. Pure mind without likes and dislikes. Then single-pointed focus followed by knowledge. Knowledge is listening. Some people may be very good people, righteous people, ritualistic, chanting all the time. Even when they would experience life, even for them, they would experience life's challenges. And at that time, they are unable to face them. because they have not gained the knowledge, self-knowledge. These people are ritualistic, but not spiritualistic. These things applies to all jivas. Now the question should arise, who is God? What is the connection between God and me? What is the connection between God and universe? Without inquiring, one can never attain liberation. These are answered in Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads. Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita should be listened to, Shravanam, not reading, because reading could lead to misunderstanding with our preconceived notions. Non-understanding is better than misunderstanding, because we all have, dharma has got more than 50 meanings in different contexts. I may know few, you may know few, but when we read it, we will, based on our preconceived notion, we will infer information. As we listen to the scriptures, we realize that it is a deep knowledge that we have never thought of or dreamt of. We have lived so many years, experienced so many challenges and struggles, and always prayed to God in those difficult times. But the scripture says, you are that. You and that are one. It is not easy to understand this statement. The more we are confused, the more questions, so many questions arises. That means it is good. Having or getting more and more questions only signifies that this content has gone in and the seeker is moving towards spiritual self-inquiry. Therefore, clarifying the doubts and getting convinced is number 4. Number 5 is nididhyasana. Meditation is after gaining the self-knowledge. It is a practice where one watches oneself, conscious awareness of thoughts, words, and actions, behavior. This self-awareness is a perpetual daily routine. Practice being awareness. Just be, not aware of something. Before self-knowledge, God was somewhere else, far away, and then close to us in this body. Now I am that is the realization. For example, we go for a hike or a travel to a destination, you carry a bag of food. Later, after a couple of hours, you eat the food. The bag is light. Initially, the food was separate from you. Then it is within you, still separate. After a few hours, it gets digested. Now the food and you both are one. Similarly, initially God is separate. Upon self-knowledge, God is within me. But don't feel that until nididhyasanam is done, realization is not done. So, Shravanam is eating, nididhyasanam is digestion. In the case of example, digestion happens automatically, but here for realization, individual effort is required. There is no fast track for self-realization. It could take several births also. Constant, consistent, regular practice is absolutely essential. Our day-to-day existence has to be meditation, focused concentration, conscious living. Living itself is a yoga. Meditation is not just for 1 hour, it is how we live for 23 hours. That's what comes at the time of meditation. Just attending Gita session few times a week will not eliminate anger. Nididhyasana is not sitting in a particular posture in solitude and practice chanting. It has to be 24/7, 365 days. As long as it is needed, each human is in different step. There is no comparison. Meditation is a combination of upasana and nididhyasana. Meditation is a common now. Only those who have crossed the first 4 steps can come to nididhyasana and realize the self. Some are in karma yoga, service to others and beings and nature. Others are in shravanam, listening. Self-reflection, self-assessment is needed to identify where one is and proceed from there. But there's no skipping in the path. We cannot go to high school without elementary school. We cannot go to masters without bachelors. Same thing. If the mind has plenty of likes and dislikes and drawn out for glamour, karma yoga is the best path. If the mind is agitated, anxious, worried, afraid all the time, relaxation, concentration, meditation, which is upasana, is suggested. That is the path. This is the beauty of our Sanatana Dharma scriptures. Humans have a free will to choose their path, their future. We create our own destiny. As we walk in this path, we can recognize our own spiritual growth, not visible to others. It is the final practice leading to self-realization. These steps continue birth after birth until self-knowledge is acquired. A jiva can never attain self-realization without these steps. Ramana, Shankara attained it in their teens, means they have done those steps in previous births. This answers Gita's question from last time. Without these steps, no chance of moksha, release from bondage. Verse 26, all beings, that is, including the movables and immovables, is a combination of field and knower of the field, Maya and Brahman, illusion and Atman. All existence are the combination of sentient and non-sentient, Chit, Chaitanyam plus inert. In Prashna Upanishad, the sun is considered as energy and moon as matter. Energy is Maya of Nirguna Brahman. The knowing, the knowledge principle is consciousness. The inert matter, effect of illusion, is the seeing. When these two are associated together, Atman and body, mind, and intellect, that is the cause of all sufferings. At the microcosmic level, senses, body, mind, intellect are matter plus Atman, referred to as I, the you. But here the Atman is reflected consciousness, is I, ego, leading to the cyclical process of birth and death. An ignorant or a common person is unable to discern the Atman from Anatma. When I say I'm walking, actually legs are walking. I am seeing, the eyes are seeing. Mind is referred to as Chit Akasa, mind space. It's just like a screen. All three gunas, all activities, movements are projected on that screen, mind. I am the seer of the mind. This field, body, appears to be sentient. Mind sees all actions. Atma illumines this mind. The illusion is that all activities are done by Atman, but in fact they are all happening or done by the inert objects, body, mind, and intellect. The inert kshetra, field, is where everything is happening. The field has appearances and disappearances. These changes are happening in Atma, while an Atma is the illusion. If you see fire in a movie, the screen is not affected, the screen does not burn. Similarly, the mind is experiencing anger, worry, fear. That is visible, that is on the screen. That is not you. The Sargas Sthiti Layam, generation, operation, dissolution is all like a movie, a drama happening around you. Nataraja's dance, Krishna Leela. Isolating and that is discerning and identifying the Purusha from Prakriti is the knowledge. The world is the same for both Jnani and Ajnani. But Jnani has a different perspective than Ajnani. You have seen this example, elephant. A carpenter makes an elephant. His child comes afraid of the elephant, whereas the carpenter knows that it is the wood, the truth, right? So also we are all afraid of this universe. We are angry, we are upset, we are worried, we are afraid. All these things are because of we are like the child looking at the elephant. All movements, activities, emotions are all Brahman. That is Brahman's reflection. Maya. You should be able to see the divine in all appearances. Everyone sees, experiences everything. But only a Jnani has a divine vision. All others have blind vision. They use their sight, which is interpreted by the mind. Bahiranga Drishti, Antaranga Drishti. Without knowing, one alone is the Atma that illumines this body, illumines all bodies. That is the truth. Without knowing this truth, we classify, we catalog. That is avidya, ignorance. Even after years of study, one can claim to be a scholar, but is not a jnani. Verse 28, same message. One who sees divine in all does not harm oneself. Verse 28, line 2, only the one who associates himself to the body, sees himself as the body, hurts himself, meaning dies and born again and again. That indestructible Atma appears to be destroyed. That is called Atmahatya, not the physical suicide. Because of our improper, erroneous sight, we seem to be hurt by others, words and actions, and hold on to it for years. We cannot change anyone, but we can change our response to what we experience. You cannot escape from being criticized. Whatever you decide, it will be criticized. They say, damn you do it, damn you don't. Norman Vincent Peale, the motivational speaker, says, it's not what happens to you that affects you. It is how you respond to what happens to you that affects you. There's the story example. Buddha went to a small village, but then he was teased and he was insulted. But he was very quiet and calm and composed. And then he proceeded on to the next village. And these people who lived there, they came to him. They asked him, how come you are not responding? And Buddha said, Buddha means enlightened. There are several Buddhas. So he said, I'm coming from a different village. They gave me speech there and I returned it there. Similarly, whatever you give, I return everything to you. Either I take it or leave it. It is up to you. It is my choice. If we are offended by others' words, that is Atmahatya, suicide. Not the physical death, but will come back. It just means that Atma will come back again and again, that Jiva. When one is firm in self-knowledge, that is firm grounded in Atma, is protecting oneself from all the external pressures. On the contrary, Atma is in all, but each body, mind, and intellect are all inert. They are all inert and subject to change. Gita 6.6, we have read that your mind is both a friend and your enemy. When you gain this self-knowledge, you are unperturbed, undisturbed, and you are in peace. Verse 29, how will Jnani operate in this world? Who is performing? Having taken this human body, all activities are performed by Prakriti. Body, mind, and senses are acting. There never can be an inactive body or mind. Even during meditation, mind is quiet. That quietness is also an activity, but cannot be done for a long time. Sitting silently for an extended period of time is a challenge. It is a difficult task. Walking slowly, you can walk for a long distance. But walking fast or running, you can only do shorter distance. For body and mind to be in the state of inactivity is just not possible. But they all function in the presence of proximity of Atman. Atman by itself is inactive, neither does anything nor enjoys the results of action, akarta, abhokta, like a magnet. Magnet is just there, but the iron filings are drawn to it. Same thing with the train track. Train track doesn't do anything. Its existence is just present there, and so many trains go back and forth. This is the mindset of realized jnani. Things happen around me. All the things happening, good and bad, are of the mind. But I am the witness. The Prakriti is acting, I am the Sakshi, and with this knowledge, this body, mind, and intellect is acting. He is not affected by anything that is the Jnani's mind. The entire universe is in two states of Maya. Verse 30. One is manifested, expressed state, is accessible to experience to five senses and experienced by five senses. Second one is unmanifested, dormant seed form, bija avastha, that is Maya. Both are Maya. One who realizes that both of these are Brahman is realized. Brahman's reflection is not separate from Brahman. Like ocean and waves both are one. Brahman and the power of Brahman, which is Maya, both are one. The power is not separate entity. This power functions, performs in the presence of Brahman. Verse 31, that Brahman in this embodiment is not disturbed, affected by the activities of body, mind, and intellect. That Brahman is a silent witness, ever present, imperishable, present in all beings. Does not perform, therefore, akarta, abhokta, and does not get bonded. Just like the space has no foul smell or the fragrance of a flower. Just like the sun is not affected whether it reflects on a holy water, river, or a stagnant water on the side of the street. Just like the street light is not affected by the wedding procession or funeral procession. Similarly, Brahman, that supreme presence, is not affected by anything, even though it is in all. It has no beginning, no end. It is limitless, all-pervasive in all, and you are that. All activities are due to Maya, the power of Maya. These activities have a beginning and end. Brahman has no beginning, no end. Brahman does not change, avyayam. Maya has three gunas, personalities, qualities, but Brahman is nirguna, without any attributes. Maya is an illusion, keeps on changing, modifying. Brahman is without modification. The realized one is not affected, agitated because of the activities that are happening around. Even the destruction of the body is his. He realized that he is the witness of this destruction. Verse 32 re-emphasizes the space, foul, and fragrance. There's nothing in the space. Verse 33, Brahman is illumining in all appearances. In its brightness, good and bad, birth and death, presence and absence, righteousness and unrighteousness, all these things happen. But Brahman is not affected. These are performed by Anatma, inert. For a beginner, I am this body. I and body are different upon Shravana. I am the seer, body, mind, and intellect are the seen, but not sentient, inert. They appear to be. I alone is. One who realizes this attains liberation. Brahma Satyam Jagat Nitya. The summary of today's session is discern the Purusha from Prakriti. Understand supreme self-knowledge. Mere study of scriptures is not enough. Practice, sadhana, self-assessment, self-reflection. Stay apart from everything. Only then one can see how people are caught in this world due to ignorance. Experience being an observer, just be. At that point, we can recognize that everything is leaning on that one presence, that is on me. This leads to understanding that nature, prakriti, matter is dependent on one Purusha, consciousness. Purusha is independent, not leaning on any. Prakriti is not a second entity, different from Purusha. It is a power of Purusha, power of Nirguna Brahman, leaning on Brahman, like a magic wand of a magician. Upon the realization of this, there is no seeker. The subject and object are one. The seeker and the sought are one. Devotee is in Dvaita. Seeker is the non-doer. Example of camphor and candle symbolizes you are one with it. As we go on, the candle melts and the camphor also melts. Everything, you are one. When the wood is burnt, ash is left behind, representing the physical body in the matter. That is why we use that vibhuti, to remind us on a daily basis that this body is one day going to be an ash. I am not this body. I am that supreme presence, Brahman, Atman. With that, we conclude chapter 13. Let me share the screen. This is part 2, that is, we are starting from verse 19. Prakriti, Purusha, both are anadi, both have no beginning. Purusha is ever present, Maya is never present. So this is Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and Trinity. These are the avatar, or these are Saguna Brahman. Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Parvati. Because human beings cannot see Nirguna Brahman. They cannot visualize, conceptualize Nirguna Brahman. So we have created this in our form so that we could understand that, we could relate to that. But they are avatars, they are avatars of Nirguna Brahman. So when this is Dvaita Bhavana, that is, Shiva holds Parvati in his chest. There are no two separate entities. It's only one. Now, Maya, Prakriti is the power of Brahman. It's not a separate entity. So, Kshetranyan, Purusha, Nyayam are the same. Purusha is all-pervasive. Nyayam is that which needs to be known. Time is an illusion. Now alone is. Past and present are of the mind. Maya has got 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. So whatever came out of Maya has 3 gunas. It has no independent existence. It's leaning on Brahman. Mithya is that which we experience but has no locus of existence. From 3 gunas came tanmatras, rudimentary elements, space, air, fire, water, earth. From tanmatras came the sukshma sharira, 17 parts, the subtle elements. And from tanmatras, after panchikarna, with karma pala, comes Stula Sharira. All that we see, interact with, including this body, mind, and intellect, are all illusion. They are all Prakriti, nature, part of nature. This is Prakriti, clay. This is pot, which is Vikriti. Gold is Prakriti, ornament is a Vikriti. Similarly, this Brahma Prakriti is there. The Prakriti is again power of Brahma. It's the illusion of the world appearance. This we are saying, this is the Sakshi Chaitanya, which is the illumining consciousness. That alone is. Its reflection is Ahankara Chaitanya. This reflection illumines this light waves from the object. So these two together is called Ahankara Chaitanya. And we say that is I. With ignorance think that this is I. When in fact this is who I am. One who understands the Supreme and the Prakriti both are one attains moksha from any of the 4 ashramas. The reflectant consciousness has to know that I am the witness of the reflection. I am the observer of all activities. I accept all happenings. I have no likes and dislikes. The cause of all jiva suffering is the expectation that this should not happen, that should happen. She should say this, he should not say this. When we experience it, that's all of jiva. Nirguna Brahman plus body, mind, and intellect is jiva. Jiva minus BMI, body, mind, and intellect, is Atman. Therefore, Atman and Nirguna Brahman are one and the same. 5 steps to moksha. First is the purity of mind without any likes and dislikes. Second one is single pointed focus. The lamp, which is not shaking at all, and the eagle. And this is agitated mind. This is the next one is knowledge. This is information for the intellect. The knowledge is supreme. I am that. That is the knowledge. Clarifying all kinds of questions, doubts, and get convinced that I am that. Then fourth one is the Nididhyasana. I am not the body, the mind, or the intellect. I am Shiva. Shiva here refers to the Nirguna Brahman. These steps continue birth after birth until self is realized. Without these 5 steps, self-realization is not possible. Verse 26, each appearance in the universe is a combination of Anatma and Atma, field and knower of the field, Kshetram and Kshetramyan. Everyone. Jangama means movables. Stavara means immovables. How does a bird know how to bloom? How does a root knows how to get water from underneath? That's all Chit Chaitanya. How does any animal know which animal to kill and eat? They don't eat all animals. Seeing both together is the cause of sufferings. When we say I, it is Chit, knowledge, but we associate ourselves with body, mind, and intellect. Everything is imaged on the screen. So also, mind is a screen, and I am the seer of that mind. One who sees oneself in all has a divine vision, a baby, a doggy, a kitty cat. One who sees the differences, sees oneself as the current body, mind, equipment, takes several births until self-realization. One alone that is you, Tat, Tvam, Asi. A body cannot be without any activity and can perform all actions and cannot perform all actions it can perform all actions for extended period of time. But sitting quietly for 15 minutes is a challenge. All activities are of the body and the mind, and I am motionless, akarta. Because of the sun, there is brightness. Because of fire, there is heat. So also because of the presence of Atma, all Anatma indulge in activities. The entire universe is in 2 forms. That which has forms and names leaning on our senses. That which are subtle, invisible to eyes, seed form, Bija-avastha, thoughts, ideas, and emotions. Both are created by Maya, the power of Brahman. This power of Brahman, Maya, acts. Brahman does not act and is not affected by any of the activities performed around. So this is, I take pictures whenever I go for a walk. These are all geese. They're all moving around. The turtle is just sitting and watching. And the bud and the flower. How does the bud know how to bloom? That's a chit. There is a chit in it. Chit is in everything. This is the final slide. Oh, no, not yet. This is the final slide. First, isolate the Kshetram from Kshetram and Anatma from Atma. Then know that Atma, Anatma, Kshetram is just an appearance. Therefore has no real existence. It's not unreal, but it is an appearance. Jivatma and Paramatma Aikyam, just like the camphor dissolves. Atman and Brahman, they merge, they are together. There's only one. So first separate the Anatma, then eliminate that Anatma. This is one, Jiva Brahma Aikyam. This is wood. When it burns, it gives you only ash. That is to remind us that this body is perishable. One day it will be an ash. Jagat is leaning on Brahman. That is, Prakriti is leaning on Purusha. They are not 2 separate entities. Okay? So this is the last one. So we stop here. Let me complete. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let me know if you have any questions.